Once you've gotten your safety down, once you've gotten your safe. Hey guys, welcome back to the Collective Movements. My name is Dylan and we're gonna be going over how to do a palm spin today. To start, you're gonna take your bottom hand and you're gonna point it towards the floor. Your top hand is going to be pointing in the direction that you're going to be doing your palm spin. If you aren't sure on which way you're supposed to be going for your palm spin, try to do a cartwheel. If you cartwheel to your left, then your left hand is going to be facing down with your fingers towards the floor. If you cartwheel to the right, then your right hand is going to be the one facing fingers towards the floor. Don't worry, you don't need to know how to do a cartwheel to be able to do this trick, I promise. And if you don't know which way you cartwheel, not a big deal, it doesn't matter. Then just pick a side that you want to do it on, see whichever side feels a little bit more comfortable for you, and run with it. So there's kind of two ways to go into this. You can either go straight head on into your palm spin or wall spin, or you can give it a slight angle. The slight angle tends to make it a little bit easier, but I personally like to do it straight on. I like the way that looks. To start, what helps me is having my arms back behind me, called an eagle position. So I start with my eagle position. I start to swing my arms up into that T position with my fingers facing down and then the other fingers facing to the direction I'm going to go. And from there, I jump off of both of my feet. You want to make sure that hand comes off the wall. You don't want your arms to cross. As this is happening, you're going to be pulling your knees into your chest. Now, your bottom hand is going to be the one supporting you on the wall to keep you from falling. You want to go up and over and roughly coming down on the same spot. You don't want this huge rainbow across the whole thing. After you get over your arm, you're going to spot your landing and actively reach both of your feet towards the floor. And that's pretty much it. Congratulations, you have done your first successful wall spin. Let's get into these typical issues here. One of the most typical issues is that your center of gravity is not close to your bottom hand. The closer your center of gravity is to the bottom of your hand, the easier this trick becomes. If you're struggling with this, a good way to do it is to actually start on the floor or on a slanted wall. When starting on the floor, you're gonna place one hand on the floor, the other hand is gonna go on the wall, and your goal is to support yourself on the floor. As a general rule, I like to get my butt above my shoulders. The second most common thing is that people tend to turn way before they're supposed to. They're turning even before they jump. You want to make sure you stand up nice and tall and then jump. Take a phone and see what it looks like as you film yourself. Really pay attention to if your body is turned sideways or if your body is upright. The third most common issue is that people will jump off of one leg. This gives you a lot less power when you're trying to do your palm spin or wall spin. A fun way to fix the third problem, which is jumping off of one foot, is to take $1 or take a rope, take a towel, take something that you can squeeze between your feet, and you would hop into your palm spin, making sure you squeeze your feet together so you don't lose whatever object you did between your feet. The fourth most common issue is that people will try to leave both hands on the wall. You want to make sure you don't cross your arms while doing this. This one, we're going to take you back to the floor drill, where you need to have your hand on the floor and one hand on the wall. The reason I'm going to take you back to this one is so you get used to picking up that second hand off the wall, because there's really not a good way that you can leave your hand on the floor and hand on the wall without understanding what you're doing wrong. The fifth most common issue is that people will take their bottom hand off a little bit too soon. And if you take your bottom hand off too soon, then you're just gonna drop straight down, especially if your feet are above your head. And that's not a good one. What I like to do is I don't pick my bottom hand up until I've spotted the floor. And then even then, I'm still kind of touching the wall the entire time I'm doing my palm spin. So as a rule of thumb, just don't pick up your bottom hand if you're having trouble with this one. You really have to support yourself on the floor or on the wall or on the bench or whatever it happens to be that you are doing this on. And lastly, the sixth most common issue is that you're placing your hands a bit too low on the wall or on your object. This tends to happen out of fear. Drill, do 3 at the bottom, 3 in the middle, and then 3 at the bottom, and then 3 in the middle, and then 3 at the top, and see how each one feels. The best way to do this though is obviously the highest point that you can get yourself to go. But if you feel a little bit more comfortable doing them a little bit lower, and it means that you can consistently do it and be a little bit more comfortable with it, then that's fine. Just do that for now. And once you feel like you've really mastered that position, challenge yourself to place them a little bit higher than you normally would and try to stand up taller. Once you're in the position, you're basically gonna do what's called a turn vault up. And basically all it is just putting your butt up in the air, turning, tucking your knees up to your chest, and putting your feet right on the block. Once you get used to this, you're gonna do it a few times. And when you feel like you've really gotten it down to where you can move on, you're going to start doing a turn vault up to a safety vault down. Once you've gotten your turn vault up, safety vault down, you're gonna cut that foot out completely, and you're just gonna try to avoid touching either feet. Once you've done this, you're 90% of the way, you are 99% of the way there. The last 1% is simply turning back towards the direction that you originally started in. So it's kind of like a full 360 at this point. So let's get into some of these variations and lines, right? With anything that we want to do, we always want to give it a purpose. Even if we're still in the progression stages of all of this, you can still do your palm spins and still give it a purpose, create a line with it. You can still do the progression into everything else, and that would be totally fine. It'll actually help you progress down the line. As always, guys, please feel free to send us your video to our Instagram at The Collective Movements. We are happy to help, and feel free to ask us for help. DM us a video of your palm spin and we'll critique it for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you don't miss a video. We'll be releasing videos every Saturday.